The manatee is the national mammal of Puerto Rico, and their protection and well-being, it's the mission of the only conservation center of manatees in the Caribbean. Our Francis Felix actually visited the center and brings us more today on the work they've been doing for the past 30 years.
The Caribbean Conservation Center of Manatees in Puerto Rico has become not only a reference in the Caribbean, but also in Latin America due to the recovery of these mammals and other sea animals. The population of manatees in Puerto Rico has been threatened in the past years by human pressure, which has caused a reduction in the number of species on our coast. The center, which is formed and has the financial support of the Caribbean Stranded Network and the Inter-American University of Puerto Rico, has rescue and response programs for stranded animals, rehabilitation, as well as research on population.
We have been working with manatee conservation for 30 years in Puerto Rico and Latin America, and basically the rescue program that we have developed in conjunction with the federal government and the state government has given light to the need for manatee conservation. One thing is for people to tell that there is an endangered species and you never see it, but once you see it on a daily basis, like it has happened with the manatees because of the press and because of the TV, the social media, then people become touched by those efforts, and therefore manatee conservation has changed over these 30 years. Our work is extremely important because it brings to the people the need for manatees, the plight of survival of the manatees in our country.
One of the manatees rescued is named Nanichi. She was rescued on Clavelina Beach on Santa Isabel with less than a week old.
On Easter Sunday, we got a call about a baby manatee that was really small in the marina of Salinas in the south coast of Puerto Rico. We sent personnel from the government to check it out, but they couldn't find the baby manatee that day. Few days later, we found the same baby manatee on just a few miles to the west in Santa Isabel, and we rescued it. And it is Nanichi. Nanichi was newborn because the umbilical cord was still visible, and the folds, the fetal folds they're called, in the tail were a telltale sign that the animal was a newborn animal.
They wait for the manatees to have 3 years of age and an adequate weight, usually 500 pounds, for them to be released.
We are allocated these animals when they are found stranded on shore or when they're ill or in trouble. And our work is, as a veterinary clinic, is to fix them up, stabilize their condition, treat any disease that they have, and get them ready to be released. So we don't want to keep the manatees forever. We want to make them good so they can go back into the ocean and contribute to the survival of the species by reproducing. So right now we have 5 manatees under our care. 4 of those are going to go back into the ocean in a couple of years, maybe a year or 2 years. And by doing so, we hope that they reproduce and that they bring new babies into the Puerto Rico population of manatees.
The non-profit organization looks for different ways to raise money and donations from people.
Obviously, people can donate. They can go into our webpage, manateepr.org, and there's a button so you can donate. So we get individual donations from people, but also corporations that are responsible, socially responsible for the environment, and they are called to help out, and they do contact us, and that way they can provide some funds for us to run the center.
It was confirmed by Dr. Minucci that a population of 500 to 700 manatees species could be found throughout the island. Reporting from Bayamón, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.